Welcome to the LISST-Portable XR video tutorial series. My name is Thomas Liu. In this video, we will explore the various features of the LISST-Portable XR user interface. From the main menu of the LISST-Portable XR, you have the ability to configure settings, view previous measurements, or collect new measurements. In the upper left corner of the main menu is the Measure button. This button is used to start the process of making a new measurement. Please see the Making a Measurement video for detailed instructions on using this button. Pressing the Display button allows us to view previously recorded measurements. Use the Page Up and Page Down buttons to scroll through the list of files and then press on the file listing to highlight it. Press the Next button to display the size distribution information for that file. Press on the tabs at the top of the screen to display the different reports. When finished, press the Return button to bring up the main menu again. Pressing on the Info button will bring up a summary of the current standard operating procedure configuration and additional information such as instrument serial number, battery level, firmware version, and system settings. Press the Return button to return to the main menu. Pressing the Setup button brings us to the Setup menu screen. The Setup menu allows you to configure different system settings as well as settings used during data collection. Starting in the upper left corner, the average duration allows us to change the amount of time a sample is measured in order to create an average. Set the average duration for future measurements by pressing on one of the buttons. Please note that changing this setting will override the value set by the standard operating procedure. It will remain at this setting until a new SOP is selected or until the instrument is powered off and restarted. Pressing the Back button will return us to the Setup menu without changing the settings. Let's press on the 20-second button. After the selection is made, you will be returned to the Setup menu. Pressing on the Single/Multiple button will bring up the screen for setting how many samples are saved in a file. If the Single Sample setting is selected, each sample will be stored in a separate file. The name of the file will be automatically created by adding a file count to the base name. For example, if the base name is test, the first file would be test01. The next file would be test02, and so on. If the Multiple Samples option is selected, multiple samples will be saved into one file which has the base name as the file name. If you plan to use the provided Excel template and want to quickly switch between different samples in the report, you may want to use the Multiple Sample option. Like with the average duration, changing this setting will override the value set by the SOP. Let's press on the Multiple Sample option. Directly below the Single or Multiple File button is the Base Name button. Pressing this button allows us to set the base name to be used for future file names. As with other settings, changing the base name will override the base name set by the SOP. It will only be used until the SOP is reloaded. Using the keypad, enter a new base name. The base name can only be 6 characters. We recommend that you do not use a number as the last character of the base name. After entering the base name, press the OK button to save it and return to the Setup menu. The upper right button on the Setup menu sets the default display that will show after a measurement is completed. The 4 different options are shown as buttons. Let's select the Volume Distribution option. The lower right button on the System menu is the System Setup button. The System Setup menu allows you to change various system settings such as the clock, screen brightness, and Mixer Timeout. Let's start by setting the clock. You can use the keypad to enter the values for the date and time. The right and left arrows on the bottom of the keyboard can be used to move to a particular value. Press the Set Clock button to set the time and date and return to the System Setup screen. Pressing on the Display button takes us to a screen that allows us to set up the backlight timeout and the display brightness. Press on the green arrows and slide them right or left to change the setting. Press the OK button to save the settings and return to the System Setup screen. Pressing on the Delete Files button will take us to a screen where you can select individual files to delete. The screen is very similar to the screen used for selecting files to view. Note that it is easier and faster to use the LISST-Portable XR Windows software to select and delete multiple files. However, this screen can be useful if only a few files need to be deleted. Let's press the back button to return to the System Setup screen without deleting any files. The Mixer Timeout button is used to set the amount of time the mixer will run before shutting down. Since the mixer can use a lot of battery power, we have added a timeout to make sure the mixer is not accidentally left on. Slide the green arrow to change the setting. Press the OK button to save the setting and return to the System Setup menu. We have made all the changes we need to the system settings. Let's press the back button to return to the Setup menu. The lower left button on the Setup menu is the Operator and SOP button. This allows us to change the current operator and the SOP. This is the same screen that is shown when the instrument is powered up. Using this screen allows us to change operators or standard operating procedures without powering down the instrument. Press the Change button underneath the operator to bring up the Select Operator screen. The LISST-Portable XR can be configured with up to 10 different operators. You can use the New and Delete buttons to add or remove operators. Press on the operator icon to select it and return to the Set Operator and SOP screen. Press the Change button underneath the SOP box to bring up the Select SOP screen. Use the Page Up and Page Down buttons to scroll to different SOP settings as needed. Press on the name of the SOP to select it, and then press the Next button to save it and return to the Set Operator and SOP screen. When you are happy with the settings for the operator and the SOP, press the Next button to load the operator and SOP settings and return to the main menu. I hope this video provided a quick introduction to the main menu of the LISST-Portable XR. Please look for our other videos on the LISST-Portable XR at our website at sequoiasci.com. Thank you.